Imagine threatening your closest neighbors with economic warfare and then pulling back at the last possible second. That's exactly what just happened in one of the most dramatic trade showdowns in recent history.
The timing of it all is incredible. Literally hours before these massive tariffs were set to take effect. What made the administration change course so suddenly?
Well, it came down to some intense 11th hour negotiations. Mexico's President Sheinbaum secured their reprieve by committing to deploy 10,000 National Guard troops to the border, while Canada had to make multiple calls and offer up a $900 million border security package.
That's quite a hefty price tag for avoiding tariffs. And the market reaction really shows how serious this was. I mean, that 630-point drop in the Dow Jones before partially recovering speaks volumes.
You know what's particularly fascinating about this? The way it's affecting real businesses. Take companies like Caterpillar and John Deere. Their products cross borders an average of 14 times during production. Each crossing would have faced a 25% tax under these tariffs.
The ripple effects are staggering. Equipment manufacturers are already halting investment and hiring plans just based on the threat alone.
And here's something that really puts this in perspective. During Trump's first term, similar tariffs on steel and Chinese goods increased equipment makers' costs by 8 to 10%, leading to thousands of job losses. Now we're looking at potentially even more severe impacts.
The housing industry situation is particularly concerning too. They're already struggling with high mortgage rates, and now they're facing potential increases in material costs from all directions. Canadian lumber, Mexican gypsum, Chinese electronics.
What's really interesting is how businesses are adapting. Home builders are now drafting contracts that allow them to adjust prices as material costs rise, essentially building in protection against future tariff shocks.
That's a pretty clear sign that they don't think this uncertainty is going away anytime soon.
Let's talk about the fentanyl aspect, because it's really at the heart of Trump's justification for these tariffs. Even with 10,000 additional troops on the Mexican border, detecting fentanyl is incredibly difficult. We're talking about a substance that can be produced in apartment buildings.
It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, isn't it? And meanwhile, the economic implications are massive. JP Morgan's analysis suggests if all these tariffs are implemented, we could see U.S. economic growth cut in half.
The international response has been fascinating too. Canadian provincial leaders pulling U.S. alcohol from store shelves, restricting opportunities for American companies. It shows how quickly these disputes can escalate beyond just government-level actions.
And let's not forget about those NHL games where Canadians were booing the U.S. national anthem. That's practically unheard of in U.S.-Canada relations.
The timing of all this becomes even more significant when you consider Trump has already hinted at additional import taxes on European goods coming pretty soon. It's like we're watching the potential restructuring of global trade relationships in real time.
The market uncertainty is palpable. Wall Street analysts are completely reassessing their forecasts. They initially thought these were just negotiating tactics.
And here's something that really caught my attention: the way Mexico handled their negotiation. When Trump asked Sheinbaum how long she wanted to pause the tariffs, she said, "Let's pause them forever," and laughed. They settled on 30 days, but it shows the delicate balance of these high-stakes negotiations.
Though it's worth noting that 30-day window puts enormous pressure on both countries to show results quickly.
Looking ahead, the big question is, what happens after these 30 days? Will we see real changes in border security and drug trafficking? Will these temporary solutions become permanent, or are we just delaying another crisis?
And meanwhile, businesses across North America are essentially holding their breath, trying to plan for a future that seems increasingly uncertain.
Well, one thing's for certain: this story is far from over, and its effects will be felt throughout the economy for quite some time to come. The next few months could be crucial in determining the future of North American trade relations.
Indeed, and whatever happens, it's going to affect everyone from auto workers to home builders to everyday consumers. We're all interconnected in this complex economic web.
What are your thoughts on President Trump pausing tariffs on Canada and Mexico? Share your opinions down in the comments, and thanks for watching.